Hey guys, what is up? It is Avery, and welcome to Teendom Talk Show, the talk show for the kids, the teens, and everyone in between. I hope that you guys have had an amazing week. I know that I have, and I'm so excited to be able to come back and bring you guys the second episode of our Black History Month special. Today, I am so excited about everything that we have to talk about. We will be talking about the art, specifically photography and music in Black history and in Black culture, and I'm so excited to have two special guests joining me. One of them, I think, may be having tech trouble, so we'll see how this works out. But before we get into the episode, one thing that I wanted to be able to talk about were a couple of cool things that have happened throughout this week. As you guys know, Sunday is Valentine's Day, and even though some of us may just be sitting at home having a Self-Valentine's Day, something that I will be doing myself, we can still have fun either way. And one special thing that I want to be able to come to you guys with is that Girly Brands Apparel, the brand that I happen to be the brand ambassador for, is having a 25% off sale using the code POWER25. So make sure to go to their website, which I will make sure to have typed into the chat box, and make sure to go cop some Girly Brand merch before it's all gone. I am telling you guys that you will not want to miss this great sale, and I know that I'm going to get some stuff too myself. So make sure to go and get some right now. Like right after the show is over, go over to their website and get some because you will not want to miss it. And a couple of other highlights of the week. It is the start of Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, and that makes me really excited. See, it may be Year of the Ox, which I am actually happy and proud to say that I am a Year of the Pig. But it is Year of the Ox, guys, so make sure to have some fun with that. And also, a couple of cool things that have happened throughout pop culture. One thing is that Beyonce, with her amazing Icy Park brand, has some new winter collection stuff dropping. And I am so excited because, one, it looks so dope. It looks so great and so amazing. And, you know, I think I'm going to convince my parents to let me get some. So, parents, I know you're watching this, so just think about it, okay? And then also, social media mogul Keats did that. Some of you guys may know him from his Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok videos based off of some of his funny skits, specifically based off of the planets, will now be releasing a makeup palette and also has some more of his planet merch. And I'm really excited about it because not only are the colors dope, but also the clothes are really dope too. So I cannot wait to get some. So with all of that, I hope that you guys have a very safe Valentine's Day holiday. And also President's Day is Monday, so therefore some of us do not have school. I know that I don't. And a lot of you guys may or may not have work, so stay safe during that as well. So with that, oh, I just got an alert that we're not live on Facebook. Oh, come on, guys. This cannot be happening for like one of the second weeks in a row. Oh my gosh. I will have this fixed. I promise. I have no idea. I checked all the streaming settings before I went live today, but apparently it is not live on Facebook. So to Facebook people, I am so very sorry. And I hope that you guys can come over to YouTube and watch this episode. I will get that figured out for you guys. But with that, I will be bringing in our very first guest, and I'm actually going to screen share a picture of her now. So this is Madison, aka Msquared, and she is a rapper, a singer, a creator, all on social media. And I'm so excited to be able to have her on the show with me today because this girl is amazing, guys. She is Black excellence, and I cannot wait to be able to talk to her today about all things music, about all things Black history, and a lot more. So let me try and bring her in right now. Okay, it says she's joining. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, it says she's connecting to the audio, but one thing that I really just want to be able to say for you guys, I'm so sorry about the Facebook situation. Okay, wait, I think I see her. Okay.
Okay, hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, that's great. I can't see your face though.
Okay, well, hold on. I think my camera's off. Let me turn it on.
Okay.
I'll do that. Hi.
Hi, oh my gosh. So good to be able to see you. How are you?
Yes, you too. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today myself. Today is I'm out of school. I don't have any homework this weekend, so I'm kind of really excited about that. But
Right, me too.
and I don't have school on Monday. You don't have school on Monday either, do you? Because of
No school on Monday.
yeah, so I'm really excited about that as well. But I'm really
Same.
excited to talk to you today. So I'm gonna re-screen share this picture of you, the Msquared rapper,
Yes.
creator, all things. And one thing that I just want you to be able to do for the audience is just tell everybody about yourself. Tell everybody about what you do, who you are, just so they can get an idea of who Msquared is.
Right. So hello everyone. My name is Msquared. I'm 13 years old and I started rapping when I was 5. I'm a singer, dancer, actor, rapper, and an activist. You can see by my shirt. Let me show y'all.
I love it.
Thank you. I'm also a writer. I've been writing music since I could write, and I could write and read at a really early age. So around 4 and 5, like I said, my music career really took off, or really began when I was around 9. I was invited to be on a radio show that is streamed across Detroit called Hot 107.5. And ever since then, I've just been recording music, releasing it. And I'm actually working on my new project now called Msquared Reloaded, which will be dropping with a new song probably sometime during Black History Month.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited.
Thank you.
One thing that I really want to know is what inspired you to do all of this? What was your main drive and main goal and inspiration?
Well, my parents, it's not like, I don't know, I don't really come from rappers, and nobody was really like shoving rap or music down my throat. It's just something that is it's just really just a passion for me personally. I just love music, and my dad used to take me to school when I was like 4 or 5, kindergarten through 4th grade. My dad took me to school, and he would always have the radio playing. And he's in the driver's seat, but I'm in the back seat. And I don't think anyone really ever realized how much I love music until I could write. And my dad, I don't know, I guess he like kind of entertained the whole writing thing, bought me pens, notebooks. I actually have my first like notebook where I wrote like my first raps in over here. You can't find it right now. But my mom also like introduced me to Beyonce, which really sparked a passion for performing for me. And that's really what inspires me every day. It's just like a passion to write and create music.
So that one thing for me is because I've never been too into music. I used to be in choir and everything, but music was something that didn't always come naturally to me. And just knowing how naturally it comes to you, it's really inspiring to a lot of people. And I know
Thank you.
I know that that's something a lot of people are like, oh, I really want to try and get into the music industry. I really want to try and just get into that. So, what are some tips that you would maybe give to some people that are aspiring to do it?
If you inspire to do music or is inspired by music and you want to do music, the biggest tip I can give you is probably go for it and grind always. Just work hard at it, because you never know when your moment to shine is gonna come. Like I've been writing, like I said, since I was like since like a very young age. But when I was 9, I already invited to be on a radio show. I was already somewhat prepared because I have been writing for years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Those are some really good tips. So I hope that people were able to hear that. And if you weren't, rewind. And if you weren't, rewind again, because those are some really good tips.
Thank you.
And another thing that I really just want to be able to know. So you've been in this game for a little while now.
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to be able to know is because you are talented.
Thank you.
You are very talented. Black
Thank you.
excellence for sure. And
Thank you.
thing
I'm trying to find a good way to sit so you can see. Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, my ring light fell.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because that happened to me a couple of weeks ago on this show and it fell directly on my face. It was so funny. But one thing that I want to be able to know from you is where do you hope, let's just say in 2021, what are some goals that you hope to reach for your career now and in the future? What are just some future aspirations that you have for your career?
Well, first off, I want to reach 1 million streams across my music platforms in general by the end of 2021. Next, I'd like to gain like a real hardcore fan base, like returning fans, not just people who see me on the explore page and then scroll, which is
Yeah.
good, but I'd want to see people who like return to look at my music weekly, monthly, whatever. Also, I met you on the Talk to Meg, like, I don't know what we call it, webinar or like
I think it was
conference.
webinar. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, it was the Talk to Meg event where we basically just got to talk to, for you guys that don't know, Meg Deloach, she's the showrunner on Netflix, on Netflix's show Family Reunion, and that's how
Right. So I guess I would say I won't go too far and say I want to be on a TV show by the end of 21 that's out on Netflix and everything. But I will say that I would like to get signed to a talent agency. I've been looking at a few of my options, and I think I've narrowed it down to about one or two. So, yeah, I would like to say I want to get into a talent agency by the end of 2021.
Those are some great goals for
Thank
sure.
you.
And that actually reminds me. So, as you know, we are in a very difficult time right now, specifically COVID speaking. Since you've been doing this for a long time, how did COVID kind of affect your music career and how did you overcome those obstacles?
Right. So COVID, I had a music video that I was like preparing to shoot for, right?
Yeah.
And COVID kind of like took that whole plan out. I guess if that's how you want to say it. Ever like when COVID first started, we obviously like still don't even know that much about what's going on. But when it first started, I know like everybody was clueless. Like all I did to protect myself was really wear a mask. I wasn't staying like 6 feet. I don't think anybody really knew what to do. So
Yeah.
when it first started, it really hit everything hard because I wasn't in the studio as much as I should have been. I wasn't, creating as much content as, I should have been. And I had, I was about to take the next step in my career with, a music video, a visual, and, COVID kind of shot that. But, but I just got in contact with a new videographer and I'm filming a music video for my new single, Melanin Poppin', very soon.
Ooh, that's so exciting. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
You're filming a music video specifically for Melanin Poppin'. Okay. So one thing that I actually really want to know is, you think that you could possibly, even if you want to give us a tiny bit of a sneak peek, you don't have to if you don't want to and if you can't, but do you think you could try and spit a few bars for us if you
Of
can?
course. Well, it is Black History Month, and I think have you seen my Black Parade cover by Beyonce?
Yeah, I was
Instagram.
able to see that and I loved it so much.
Thank you. Well, I could spit a little bit of that if you want.
Okay, period. Go for it.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to go back to the South. Hold your fist up if you Black and you proud. Been fighting a while, been fighting real loud. Keep your head up, no need to look down. Royalty fix your crown. United and fighting. Can y'all hear us now? We strong, we bold, we brown. Black and beautiful, that's no doubt. Yeah, I got that motherland drip. Our skin melanin so rich. And I got to rep with the cheeky print, don't even trip. Lift that lipo lip. Me and my girls got hips, don't talk to my folks lick. Afro with the pick, black is king, throw up your fist. Yeah, melanin, 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 melanin drip on me. And you know what's up with my ocean energy. Yeah, I got that motherland, 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 motherland drip on me. Just a brown skin girl. Living that brown skin dream, ooh, yeah, being Black, maybe that's the reason why they always mad. Maybe that's the reason why I sit with class, probably why the melanin hit like that, ooh, been past them. I know that's the reason why I am self-made. Maybe that's the reason why they still throwing shade. Stand up, fist up, Black Parade, yeah.
Hey! I have to give you some claps for that.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I'm at loss for words for a second. That was so good. And that is pure talent right there.
Thank
And
you.
something that the people need to know right now, and I know that they definitely want to know right now, is where can they reach out to you? Where can they find you? Where can they find your music? Because I know the people want to be able to hear it.
Well, my album, Msquared in the Building, just dropped, and it's on all streaming platforms from YouTube to TikTok, if you want to make a dance to it, Spotify, Apple Music, anything that you prefer to listen to music to. And all you have to do is type in my name, Msquared, and it would help if you typed in the building just to narrow the searches. But you can find me on Instagram at the.msquared, which is spelled Msquared. I know somebody who had a little bit of trouble spelling that a little while ago, so I just want to let y'all know. Facebook is the same, the.msquared, and it's the same for TikTok too. But if you want to email me or DM me for business inquiries, just let me know. Go to my Instagram and you can DM me and I can give you my email, or just, slide to my DMs and we can figure something out. But my email is msquared, FEAT, as in like features.bookings @gmail.org.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have you repeat that closer to the end in case people either missed it or people are just popping in and they want to be able to know. But that, I cannot get over that performance. Oh my gosh, we got a Teendom exclusive from the Msquared guys. Take that in for a second. Take that in, and you snapped, and I
Thank you, girl. Thank you.
snaps all around. And one question that I want to be able to ask you right before we get into the comment section where people can ask questions of their own that I can ask to you. Black History Month, as you know, is this month, and it is a huge thing. And one thing that I want to ask you is, what does Black history mean to you? And specifically, what does Black History Month mean to you? What does Black history mean to you? How do you feel about it?
Well, Black history to me means the advancement of Black people throughout the history, throughout, us being Black people. So, inventors, activists, people like Angela Davis, who have just, spoken out, and not people who haven't been afraid to actually progress us as a whole, progress us as a community. And I think Black history to me is a time to celebrate what we have achieved together, not just, individuals, but I think it's really important to really recognize like how much we have done and how much we have contributed to society, because a lot of times that does go unnoticed or unrecognized. So I know in my school, for some really odd reason, we didn't have any type of Black History Month in 6th grade. And in 7th grade, we didn't have Black History Month either. So I actually came up with the curriculum for the students, and I focused on a lot of leaders who have just helped us get to where we are now. I mean, like, did you know a Black man created the doorknob, a Black man created the traffic light? It's crazy. Like, a lot of the things that, we have now wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for, Black inventors, Black creators, even activists, have given people courage to speak out. So Black history to me ultimately means celebrate what we have achieved and let's continue to advance in society.
I love that. You could not have explained that any better.
Thank you.
It is totally true. It's talking about the advancement of us as a people and so many different things that have happened that have contributed to society that cannot be replaced ever. And I'm so happy that we have this month to specifically highlight it, because it's not just Black History Month in February, it's Black History Month all year round.
Every day, okay? Every day, yes.
Every single day of the year, Black history is being made on a continuous basis. And it's our job to continuously spread that and continuously celebrate it. And that is one thing that I specifically love about this month. And I'm so glad that you were able to share with us what it means to you.
Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity, because, people interpret it in different ways. Some people think it's about, like us, like protesting and showing, the injustice that we've had. But a lot of other people think like it's about things that we've created. And I think it's a little bit of both. So.
Me too. I feel like it's both because you want to be able to know what we've been through as a people, but at the same time, be able to celebrate all of the great things that have happened.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could not have said that better.
And I'm like, yeah, we gotta combine that all together.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that I love. So we have a couple of great questions that I want to be able to answer. So one of them is, how do you want and how do you hope to make Black history? That is a great question.
That is not only a great question, but that is a difficult question.
Yeah.
This new project that I have coming out called Msquared Reloaded has a song that you guys already heard. It's called Melanin LLC. It's I've heard, I've got a few opinions, and people said that it's very empowering, and, it makes them just feel good about themselves. And that's what I'm all about, empowerment, supporting, you can see my Support Black Colleges merch that I have on right now. I want to make Black history by just spreading love throughout my community, and not even just spreading love, but really making change. Maybe by the time that I get my time, my come up where I can get some more followers on Instagram, some more followers on YouTube, all my social media platforms. Maybe by that time I'll have enough to, I don't even want to say enough, but maybe by that time I'll really be like, okay, I have enough backing me to where I'm going to go out and I'm really going to do whatever I have to do. Because, if what has happened in the past year, not even just in 2020, but in the past year, 2021, even in 2020, like we were going through a lot of hard things with the protesting and everything. And it really just gave me some time to reflect on like our criminal justice system and how, I don't want to say rigged, but how messed up it is for people of color. Yeah. And I really want to make some change in that. So I want to make Black history by being not only an activist, but an artist who kind of makes people feel good about their skin color. Because I know me, right? In this generation, we have, we have different types of artists, but I've never really seen an artist come out and be like, and make a song like, I'm Black and I'm proud of it. A lot of these popular artists, so very mature and, messages that probably shouldn't be, listening. We should not be listening to that as children. But for me, I want to make music that not only kids and, adults, even like older people can listen to and still get the same message. That's how I want to make Black history.
I absolutely love that. And you are already making it right now to this day. You are inspiring and you are empowering a whole generation of
Thank you.
Including myself. I am so I'm so excited that I get to be in your virtual presence right now.
Ooh, me too. I'm so but Inspired Melanin, I took a look at the website. It's beautiful. Even your t-shirt, I like that too.
Thank you so much. I just got this and I'm like, oh, I love the message because
yes, we are Black history in the making.
Black history in the making. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And
yes, absolutely.
A virtual fist bump, girl. Virtual fist bump.
Yes.
So, this is another great question. So somebody said, you actually kind of answered that. How do you want your music to change Black history? So if you want to just elaborate a little bit more on that, you kind of covered that in your last question.
Yeah.
But
I want especially Black girls, young Black girls, to realize how beautiful their skin is. Yeah. Because, I read something, I heard an interview by somebody. I don't know if it was like Malcolm X, but it was a speech where somebody said Black women are like the most disrespected, people in America. And it just made me really like step back and really think about it. And I really want people to understand and kind of comprehend all that Black women have done for society. Kamala Harris, just got elected. She's, our vice president now. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to think back and be like, we can do anything anybody else can do just as good, if not better. And on top of that, you know, we look good while doing it. And I want people to see that their skin is beautiful, regardless if you're light skin, brown skin, dark skin. We're all united and we're all together. And on top of that, I want you guys to, you know, feel good about being Black. I wake up every morning and I thank God that I'm Black, because this is who I am and I'm very proud of it. And I want other young girls to see that too. So when they grow up, you know, I don't know. So maybe someone on this conference will be the next Kamala Harris. Maybe somebody will be the next Angela Davis.
Yes, we will see. And I love the way that you were able to explain that as a Black girl in society. I actually heard the same exact speech that you had heard that. And I had to take a step back because I'm like, not only is that partially true, but I kind of got to realize it within myself so I can keep going. And so I can realize and tell myself every day that, oh, I am beautiful. I am great, regardless of the color of my skin color. And I absolutely love being Black. Like,
yes.
I can be glowing every time I hit the light, and I'm just like,
yes, I can see it. And what do you have, a ring light? That's all you gotta you glowing.
mm-hmm,
I see it.
Just brings it all out, and I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Oh, this is actually a great question. There are these two that I really want to be able to ask you. Somebody said, "I love your shirt. Do you want to go to an HBCU? And which one?"
I'm so glad that. Wait, can you say that again?
Yeah, they had just said, do you want to go to an HBCU, and which one would you want to go to? Where?
I'm so glad they asked that, because I'm obsessed with Howard University. I want to go. Oh my goodness. I want to go there so bad, and I want to be a Delta.
Me too.
Oh my girl, we gonna have to meet up. I'm so glad we're doing this. I'm so glad we're doing this right now, because you know, maybe we'll see each other in Washington D.C.
Yeah,
because this yes, support Black colleges, support Black sororities. I love sororities and fraternities. Yes, I do want to go to an HBCU. You know, people have been telling me, like, I just went to LA like in 2019 in December, and I saw how nice UCLA was. And so it kind of got me thinking for a second, like, should I embrace this warm weather? Because I live all the way in Metro Detroit, and it's cold down here. It's really cold. Like, we have snow on the ground outside. Yeah. And I know Washington's cold too. You know, it can get a little brisk out there. So I was thinking about UCLA, but then I saw Kamala Harris walk down, and I could be wrong, but didn't she go to Howard?
Yeah, she did go to Howard, actually.
I saw her walking in her purple on the inauguration day, and I was just so inspired. I was like, forget it. I'm going to be, not only am I going to go to Howard, but I'm going to join a sorority just like her.
Me too. It is so funny because me and you, like with sororities at colleges, see, my dad, he's an Alpha, and then my mom, she's a Delta, and I want to be a Delta really bad. I'm like, okay.
My uncle, I think he's an Alpha too. Okay. And he wants me to be an AKA. But I don't know why, but I'm really obsessed with being a Delta. Just even red is so bold, and like, I know this might sound kind of weird, but I've taken so many online quizzes, and I was a Delta. So I'm a Delta.
And I went to, in 2019, I also went to LA, and we took like this tour of like the outside of UCLA. Cause when I would say I was in second grade, and we went to Howard, like the outside of it. And then afterwards we got to walk around, and I loved both of them. And I'm stuck.
Yeah.
But I just love just the look of going to HBCU. The experience seems so amazing.
Absolutely.
Howard in particular, I'm just like, oh, it's calling out my name. It's calling.
Yes, I understand that too. I do.
Yeah. So great choices. Great choice.
Yeah.
And then there was another question that said, is there any specific celebrity that you would love to hear your music? And if so, who? That's a great question.
Beyonce and Michelle Obama.
Ooh.
Yes, Beyonce, Michelle Obama. Oh, and I guess Kamala Harris.
Yes, Kamala Harris.
Yes. Because she's vice president now. And I saw her and Barack, I think this was last year, but I saw an Instagram post and they basically have like Barack Obama's playlist of 2020, Michelle Obama's playlist of 2020. And I saw it last year and I was like, oh, I gotta get on here one day. So I really want her to hear my songs. And I think she would enjoy them. And especially like my Black Parade cover, I would love for Beyonce to see because she is the queen bee. And she actually helped me realize my passion for music, and not only that, but my passion for performing. And even I don't of course like know Beyonce personally, but I feel like she's affected me in such a strong way that it's crazy how we don't even know each other. And I feel so inspired by you, and you have helped me so much during my music career.
Yeah, Beyonce is such an inspiration.
Every day, all day.
So much. Like all of my favorite songs, they're like by her. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Not to mention how all of the people that you listed, especially with the Barack Obama playlist, I know that I think that he had one of 2022. I have to go back and check because I remember I think I saw it on like Instagram or something. I'm like, oh yeah, they definitely need Msquared on this.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm like, if not, what are they listening to? Because they need
really. I think they were listening to Savage by Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion, which is absolutely acceptable. I know I saw that one on there, so
absolutely acceptable because I'm like,
yes.
Jam, and I'm like, okay,
yes, definitely the jam.
Okay, this is a great one. So wait, let me go back to it. Oh, I scrolled down too far. Okay, is there any historical figure in Black history that you look up to, and why?
Yes, every day I think about what Malcolm X, especially doing this thing for my school where I highlight Black people who have helped us become and get to where we are today. I love free equality fighters, people who really go out there and make a change. So of course the Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, but also Angela Davis, Huey Newton, yeah, and then like Ruby Bridges, even though she was like the first to integrate in that particular school that she went to. And I just think that takes a lot of courage, and that's where I get my reminder, like, be strong in whatever you do. And then for Malcolm X, I really get out of him is really see what you want and go for it always. And then what I get from Huey Newton is always be a leader, because the Black Panther Party really had a huge impact, especially during the times of like police brutality back in the day. And personally, I would love to start an organization or like have something that really defends us and is like a safe place for our people. And I think that they just inspire me to work hard. And just thinking back, not even to historical figures, but thinking back to what they went through, and it makes me appreciate what I have now, because I don't have to sit in the back of the bus because of Rosa Parks. I don't have to have a drink out of a different water fountain, or go to a different bathroom, or even sit in a different movie theater. So I really take those things into account and really process those things and think, if we didn't have those leaders, if they didn't speak up, like, where would we be now? So I just have to make sure that I'm pulling my weight.
I love that. You could have not phrased that better.
Thank you.
Those are all really important figures that I look up to as well, especially Ruby Bridges, because what she did, it did take guts, it did take courage, and that it was a very scary thing, especially for how young she was. And she had to do that could take a toll on some people. So I'm like, okay. And this is one last question that I want to be able to ask you before we part. I want to be able to ask you, how do you feel that music takes a role in Black history? How do you feel it tells a story?
I'd like to first of all speak of my two favorite artists of all time, Tupac and Beyonce. First of all, Beyonce with Brown Skin Girl to Black Parade, and you know, everything that she's really done. She's never been afraid to shout all of us out. Brown Skin Girl was really empowering to me, even though, it's really highlights and throws a lot of respect to dark skinned women, which I completely agree with. But it definitely made me like step back and realize like this is really powerful, like in general. And it just makes you feel really, I don't know, like music is very always relatable to me. Like I can definitely speak on Keep Your Head Up by Tupac and
Mhm.
Changes and Holler If You Hear Me. It just gives like different sides to not only women, but being Black and and also being a part of poverty. I'm very fortunate, but
Mhm.
I can look at it through someone else's eyes.
Yes.
So for me, music is it's like always very impactful because it shows you that you're not alone, and it also, really, it really just puts it out there that there's other people going through exactly what you're going through right now, and on top of that, you know, they understand,
Yeah.
and I respect it. I respect music. I respect the art.
I absolutely love that, especially the way that you explained it. It just meant so much. And also, I cannot believe how much we have in common. I just first have to say that I cannot believe how much we have in common. But you and your work is so inspiring. It is so empowering. And I cannot wait to see you grow as an artist, as an activist. I cannot wait to see you flourish and see how you change the world. So thank you so much for being on the show with me today. And I'm so glad that everybody was able to meet Msquared.
Thank you for having me. You are so beautiful. I just pin your screen and everything. You are so pretty, and I'm so excited to, even be able to like have each other, have each other's backs. We like the same colleges and everything. So hopefully this is not, our last time talking. Hopefully we'll stay in touch. I know the talk to Meg chat and everything. You
Yeah.
know, I just hope to stay connected, and thank you for thank you all the viewers and everything. Hi, is this Teendom Talk? Hi, Teendom Talk viewers.
Bye. Thank you so much. And also, one last thing before you go, do you mind repeating where people can find you and find your all of your music and when your album is coming out? Because I'm so excited.
Yes, my album Msquared in the Building is already out. It's dropped,
Mhm.
but it's on all streaming services, all digital platforms, wherever is your favorite place to listen to music. You can just go there. And on top of that, you can go to TikTok and make a whole dance to, one of my songs. They're all out and on there. So
Okay.
if you like TikTok and you like dancing, that's definitely for you.
Mhm.
You can find my Instagram. It's the.msquared. It's the same for Facebook, the.msquared, and it's the same for TikTok, the.msquared. So I hope to receive a follow from you guys because, I definitely, would like to keep in touch with Avery. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to come back on Team and Talk very soon. So.
Very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Virtual hug.
Virtual hug, girl.
Virtual hug. Thank you so much for being on with me, and I will talk to you later.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I can speak for everybody when I say that Msquared is amazing. You guys need to go and check out all of her work right now. And when I say right now, I mean right now because she is great. And now I'm excited to bring in our next guest, the Jordan Jefferson. Let me screen share really quick so you guys can see him. He is a photographer and creator, and I have had the pleasure of knowing him for a little while now. And I wanted to be able to bring him on with us today to be able to talk about how photography is so very important in Black history and also highlight some of his work too. So let me bring him in right now. Okay, let me see if he can hear me.
Hey, hey,
Hi, how are you?
how are you? I'm great.
I am doing great. I am so excited to be able to talk to you today.
Me too, me too, me too. Well, I talk to myself every day, so I'm not that excited, but I'm happy to be here with you.
Yeah, I feel like, especially since I've been in COVID, because I'm just here with my parents. Like, I love them and all, but sometimes it can get a little hard because I've been stuck in the house with them for like around almost a year now. So,
I just turned 23, and even I'm still negotiating if I want to bring imaginary friends back or not. Sometimes I feel something has to shake this up. Something has to rock the boat a little bit.
like, just add a little bit of flavor because things are
Hmm.
a little boring around here. But I'm so excited to be able to talk to you today. Your work is amazing, first off.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You have been doing an amazing job. And first off, just tell the people who you are. Who is Jordan? What does Jordan do?
What is a Jordan? Um, hey guys, my name is Jordan Jefferson. I am a local fine art and fashion photographer. Um, I do a little bit more than that. So anything that has to deal with the visual identity of a brand or a company, I work with. I was one of those smarty pantses who graduated college at 20, and I moved out to LA, and I helped design a restaurant, and I helped do a lot of other things. Came back home, looked for myself for a little bit, tried to find what I really wanted to do, and now I am actually back in school. I'm a student again somehow, some weird you in some weird way. I'm a student again, and now I'm studying things like fashion, and I'm actually studying photography in school. But yeah, that's my short story. Avery knows me from Studio One. I was an actor there, and I also worked there for many from since I was probably younger than you. How old are you now?
I'm
If you
13
don't.
now.
13. I was about your age when I started working at Studio One, when I started selling snacks. Um, but yes, that's my real short bio. I can get into all the way from the ages to 1 to 12 if you want. I can talk about the time. No, I'm kidding.
I'm
We're kind of we don't have all day.
yeah, just a little bit. Your story, for one, is so inspiring, and I absolutely love your photos. I had the honor to be able to have you actually take some photos back in, oh my gosh, December of 2019. That is technically 2 years ago. Oh my,
That feels like it was 10 years ago. Why does 2019 feel like a lost memory at this point?
I know, but I had the honor. You were able to take some photos for me with the projects that I was doing, and that went great. And one thing that I want to know is what in particular inspired your photography? What inspired you to actually get into that?
So photography is interesting because it's not like, we live in a world of binge watching and movies and things that are constantly moving. Photography for me is something that makes you stop.
Mhm.
When you go to a museum and you see a piece of artwork, you stop, you look at it, you analyze it. It's one thing, you get the picture,
Yeah.
but it makes you look even further. And for me, like I said, you met me because I was an actor at Studio One.
Yeah.
For me, being able to understand how to tell a story, and
Mhm.
then understanding how to put that whole story in one frame is the greatest challenge, but it's also the most rewarding challenge. I love film, I love art, I love graphic design, but it's something about being able to take a photo, and when people see that photo that they stop,
Mhm.
it's worthwhile, especially when they stop on when we're talking about Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, places where people just scroll and scroll and scroll. When you get somebody to take the time to stop, comment on your photo, they'll send you a message, they'll try to call you on Instagram, which you should never do because that's really weird if you don't know the person.
Very weird. I'm like,
But it breathes life not only into the creator but to the people witnessing it, and I think that's the difference between photography and videography. And that's kind of why I like it. Some people say like videography is way more time consuming. You need props, models, contracts, the whole thing.
yeah.
But some people say you may spend like $10,000 on a couple of seconds of a movie.
Oh wow.
Imagine spending that amount of money on a single image. And that's kind of my goal and where I want to be, where I can design these big movie-like sets just to take one picture.
And that actually is really cool, and something that actually, when I was looking at some of your photos, and I'm actually going to screen share some of them because I actually want you to be able to tell the audience, like, what was the meaning behind these specific photos.
Got it.
One thing that when I was looking at your photos, I was like, I can tell that there is some depth to this because I am like, I know that it could not just be like someone with fabric around their head for no reason. And I'm like, but sometimes that is the case. And that's the thing that I like about photography, because I think that it's so cool and it makes you like dive deep into the mind. And you're right. Like, we live in a time where like people are always moving, especially when you look at like movies and film, but photography, it helps stop it for that quick second.
There's no beginning, middle, or end. It's just exactly where you land.
Yeah.
It's just, you're present. You have to be present because you don't know the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm. And that is one thing that I really like about it. And you explained it in perfect words. So I'm going to actually share 3 photos of yours. And I want you to be able to like tell us what's the meaning behind these 3 photos, because these are 3 of my personal favorites.
Okay, I'm ready.
So first was this one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am absolutely in love with this photo. And what's the meaning behind it?
So this photo was a lot of fun. This was with my buddy Josh, who I went to high school with, and then we ended up going to the same college.
Okay.
So I went on this big journey about self-conflict, and I know how it looks within me, and I wanted to begin to know how it looked within others. And the more I talk to people, you have this idea of being caged and being locked up.
Mm-hmm.
But really what you turn to find is that, there's rules, there's laws, and there are restrictions. But if you wanted to go outside and hang out with a friend, you could do it. You can go to your friend's house. There's plenty of people who are. But it's this idea of you're keeping yourself safe, but at the same time, you are hindering yourself from experiencing emotions, experiencing new events. You have a reason to, but it's still like you still have to be responsible for the fact that you're holding yourself back. And that's kind of what this picture encapsulates. They're both the same person. And a lot of the pictures I do where I clone people, I don't change their outfits. So it's the same person. I want you to know this is the same person, same place, same person. So on one half, you see him fighting, with the entangle, with the cage he's put himself in. But on the other half, you see a part of him just watching him fight, knowing that he really isn't going anywhere, just relax with the circumstances.
Okay.
So that may have been complex, but you stare at it long enough, you'll click what I'm saying.
Yeah, like as you're explaining, I'm like, oh, wait, that makes sense. And it's a really good message. And I feel like it's something that a lot of people deal with too, but it really helps spread that message in a single still photo. I really like that a lot.
So here's a fun fact too that I like to do when anytime people analyze my photo, I don't want to say always, because sometimes I don't always try, but I always put one mistake. I always try to leave one mistake in the photo.
Oh, okay. Wait, where's the mistake? I kind of want to see it, where it is.
So if you look at the person who's staring at, if you look at the second person who's looking at the version of him tugging,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the shadow on the wall, the shadow was going downward.
Oh, wait. Oh, I see it. Wait, how did that happen? I'm a bit confused now.
Because remember, these are 2 different, so this is one image combined, but originally they were 2 different images. So that's a factor of combining the image. So the shadow was the original shadow that was there, and I replaced the texture. I replaced the cloth that connects them. Mm-hmm. I replaced it.
Okay. Wow.
I promise I'll look this up very quickly, but I got that from an artist when I was younger. An artist, we went to an art gallery, and I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but I noticed he would make, like, sometimes he would either paint outside the lines, or he would do something that would be really weird. And what he told me was that when you put a mistake inside of your art piece, no one else can call it a mistake. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like the metaphor I always like to share with people. Anytime somebody breaks down my work, I'm like, did you find the mistake? Because people are always looking for one.
Yeah.
So give it to them. It's a very weird thing. We can continue.
It's very interesting, actually. But one thing right here that I want to be able to share. This one had me like, oh my gosh, because you did the cloning thing. Mm-hmm. How you would mention that you do clones often. What does this photo mean?
This photo is a good example of doing what you feel. So, okay. Personally, it wasn't until I began to clone myself that I felt like I was able to express myself. I think when I used to do fine art, it was easier for me to draw what I was feeling because I didn't think about it. But photography is a little bit different. You know, when you take a photos, what am I taking a photo of? How am I going to do the colors? It's a combination of things. So I was driving and I was just driving, no destination in mind.
Okay.
And I began to say, when I feel things, I'm going to do things. I'm going to take photos of them. So I decided to pull over. It's this little, it's Wolf Lake in Indiana. That's the exact location. I was just driving. It was my favorite time of the day, which is golden hour. So during the summertime, this is like around like 5, 6 when the sun begins to set. That's why you see all those beautiful colors in the background. And I said, I'm just going to show what I'm doing, how I feel. And that's exactly how I felt. Just kind of there.
That's interesting. Kind of there. And I like how I like the like one leg out of the car thing. I really like that. And also just like the one where you're just like sitting there, just like thinking, I guess. Do you like remember what you were thinking about when actually taking this, or do you just remember like when you took it?
It was one of those weird moments, and you'll experience this too when you're somewhere 23 in the middle of a pandemic. I wasn't sad. I wasn't happy. I just kind of didn't know what I was.
Yeah.
And that's why even when I look back at these photos, I don't really have an expression on my face. Just there, just thinking. I'm just present, as I like to say. So when I was during this time, to be honest with you, I can tell you if there's one solid thing I tell you, I grabbed my keys. I was like, I'm getting out the house. I grabbed my keys. I grabbed my book bag. I always have my book bag with my camera in it. And I said, I'm leaving. I said, I got to go. Don't know where I'm going. Don't care. May go get a taco. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And I just found myself here and I just put my camera on the tripod and that's how it happened.
And not to mention, this is fantastic. Like even if you were just like just driving, like I don't know where I'm gonna go, I don't know where I'm gonna end up today. You ended up somewhere great because this photo is spectacular. I adore it. And this next one is also actually one of my favorites. I was like, once again, the cloning thing. And I was like, okay, so what does this specific photo mean? What story were you trying to tell with this?
So during my whole clone series, I've taken a lot of dramatic photos, as I'm pretty sure you've seen.
Yeah.
But this series, because I always take them in sets of 4. So all the images that you showed previously, they all have like 3 more counterparts that tell the story. This photo is actually my favorite. This set is actually my favorite. The reason being is I believe this was my second week of when I started school again. And I got on the train, and it's not like we're all 6 feet apart. We're not interacting with each other, but there was no one else in my car. Not a single person. I spent all this time bored in the house by myself. And when I stepped out into the world,
you were still by yourself.
Still by it was weird. It was this weird little, and even when I was in the house, I felt bored, but I never felt lonely. This was one of the few times where I was like, I am alone. This is weird. Do people still exist? It's super strange. And I'm the last, so this was like the last stop before, like the 20-minute ride to Chicago. So we weren't picking anybody else up. There was no chance of anybody else getting in this car with me. Yeah. So this was my favorite shoot just because of it. I feel like this shoot really jump-started the whole series. It kind of jump-started this style of photography because I really understood what it meant to shoot what I was feeling. And that's why I use the clones in a lot of different pictures, but there's another image where I'm actually just by myself completely, just so I can show you the empty train car. But
remember that one.
The craziest part about this one, I had 30 minutes to shoot all 4 images.
Only 30 minutes. It's like you were given like a little time frame. Like someone was like, I'm giving you this timer to use.
I had that much time, and I sat down and I was like, I need to take photos.
Yeah.
So imagine trying to put your camera on a tripod on a moving train. So it was a lot. Like, and that's why this one, I really wish somebody would have been there to record it. But as I told you, there was no one else on that train.
No one. And that's such a risky move too, because like you don't want your camera to break, especially
right.
It's a moving train. You don't know what's about to happen. And I was wondering, I was like, did he like have to like rent out a set for these pictures? Because it looks like a real train to me, but I don't know. But now that I actually know the story, like it makes so much sense when you look at it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
Nope. Don't have to pay for a set when you can rent out when you can get an empty space for free.
Yeah, especially during COVID, no one's anywhere, so you have a lot of ample time on your hands. And these are just 3 out of the many different photos that Jordan has. So where can people find some of your photography?
So you guys have a couple of options. If you want my social media, you can follow me at Photos by Jordan J. Real quick and easy. But then if you guys actually want to see a video of me talking about some of the images that Miss Avery just showed all of you, you can actually go to my YouTube channel, which is Studio Avery, which is, it's not named after you. That's my family's name too. But once again, that's Studio Avery. We just uploaded our first video, and we actually have each one of the, like my self-portrait series, it contains all the images and me talking about creativity. So if you want to follow me personally, it's Photos by Jordan J. And then the YouTube is Studio Avery.
Okay, they got a couple of options. So I'm probably going to have you repeat that just a couple more times so people will be able to know, register it in their mind so they can go look after the show. And one thing, considering that you've kind of mentioned Studio Avery a little bit, I wanted to be able to share this, which I'm going to screen share right now. It's Avery Creative Studio. And this is the website. So what is Avery Creative Studio?
So like I said, that's right there. Avery Creative Studio is modern photography solutions. So when I'm working with clients, I do things just a little bit differently than most photographers. So before you shoot with us, I get to know your story. And that's how we come up with some of our photo ideas. And that's how we come up with the different concepts that we shoot. So even when I'm shooting clients, I still shoot creative ideas. I still do things creatively, but in a way that is tangible for their consumer base. So if I'm working with a musician, they say, hey, yeah, I'm a rapper from blah, 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 so and so. I say, okay, we're going to use these colors. We're going to style you this way. And we're going to use this little creative. We're going to make you float because you said something about your dream of being a pilot, because your album was about you being a pilot as a kid. So I take little aspects of the person I'm shooting and I insert them in the photo. And even if you don't know that as the viewer, the client will, and their story will be told without anyone really knowing what's happening. So that's just a little bit of what we do.
That is very interesting. So if you want to be able to check out more of that, I have the website right here, but so you guys know, it's www.averycreativstudio.com. So make sure to go check that out. I'll also repeat that before the end of the show because you guys need to know this stuff, guys. You need to know this stuff. And one thing specific that I wanted to be able to ask you, as everybody knows, it is Black History Month, and photography plays a major role in Black history. And one thing that I wanted to know first off is, what does Black History Month mean to you in particular?
Black History Month is a very interesting time, especially the older you get, because on one half, you get this wide array of praise. But then you also get the other, when you get older and when you start to really pay attention, you notice how people react to that praise. So Black History Month sometimes has informed my buying decisions. Black History Month sometimes informs the people that I follow and the people that I don't follow. Black History Month sometimes informs me, of what I should be doing or what I need to do better. Because you learn a new story every year. You learn a new Black history story. You learn about someone's trials and their tribulations. And then you have to take that little bit of history and say, what am I going to do with this? So every year I dedicate a little bit of time to being able to, not just learn something, but embody it. What am I going to do with this information? We all know the story of Rosa Parks. We all know the story of Martin Luther King. But when you hear the stories of people like Marcus Garvey, what do you do with the story of a man who was the first person to bring Black people back to Africa? What do you do with that story? And that's kind of what I think every time. And sometimes I don't always have an answer for it, but I keep it in my spirit and I look for an answer. And that's how you and that's how you internalize something. And that's how you actually learn, is when you keep asking yourself the hard questions. So every Black History Month, I ask myself a hard question. I try to ask myself hard questions all the time, but Black History Month, I asked myself the hardest of questions, and I only got 29 days to answer it.
Ooh, specifically with a leap year. This year we got 28. So
Yeah, we really got the we really got chipped on that one. We really got the what is it? The small stick. We really got the small stick on that.
We really got the smallest. We got the weakest link of the months, but we're like, okay, we'll figure this out in 28 days.
But, right. We'll take June too, and just won't tell anybody.
And that's something that I really like, and I really like the way that you put that. So now I'm actually going to be able to answer a couple of the audience questions, considering that Teendom Talk Show is live. You guys have some great questions sometimes, so I'm gonna get to those so you guys know. Oh, okay, this is a great one. So what photographers, specifically Black photographers, inspire you? Oh, that is a great one.
Specifically African American photographers. Mm-hmm. So this is going to sound insane. I don't take my my photography inspiration from other photographers.
Huh, that's interesting.
I take my photography like inspiration from movies. That's how I always think about them. And I guess you can kind of say they're videographers, so I guess you could say it too. So Spike Lee is actually one of the biggest influences like of my work. Quentin Tarantino isn't African American, but his characters usually feature around African American in the way that he over exaggerates little things like blood and different things in his movies is responsible for a lot of my work. And it's weird, and it's always weird when I tell people, like, when they say, what are you inspired by when it comes to like photography? And I say, well, I'm usually inspired by movies. For me, if you look at my work, a lot of my work looks like a scene from a movie. And that's my whole thing. So even it's one more person, their name just is slipping me. If I remember, I'll come back to it. But yes, those are just a few of the there's just a few of the storytellers that inspired me. Maya Angelou is another one. Like, again, not a photographer, but she is someone who, like, I take inspiration from when I do photography, because sometimes I treat the photos like a poem. A big part of my photography isn't just the photos, but it's the captions. So sometimes people fall in love with the photo because they hear my voice before they see the photo. If you're on Instagram or for something else, the train photos, for example, if you go back and look at the caption, it says, "I'm tired of being alone." And when you hear that and that noise is resonating with you,
yeah, to understand the photo a little bit.
You understand the photo, but you still want to stare at the photo.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Maya Angelou when she says, "Still I rise." Like, you know exactly what she's saying, but you want to know everything about what she's saying because it's powerful. It's a statement. So I know I didn't answer the question directly, but those are some of my biggest inspirations when it comes to me deciding on making photos.
That's really interesting. I never even thought about, like, how photographers can get very inspired by movies and different videographers. I'm like, that's interesting.
Well, if I can throw something out there about photography, you really have to think about what photography is. So a lot of people don't understand it as a concept. Is it shooting models? Is it, is it historical pictures? What is photography? And photography is kind of what I said earlier. Photography is the only way that you can actually stop time. Ooh. So then you have to go to that caught you, didn't it? Because you don't think about it like that. Photography is the only time that a moment stands still in an entire universe. So photography is about deciding how a moment stands still, and that's what photography is to me. So when I think about it, I don't really take so much inspiration from other photographers because they're the ones capturing the moment.
I like that.
I take inspiration from the people thinking about these moments,
I like that. Oh my God. That just made me like stop for a second. Okay. Ooh, here's one. What is one of your favorite photos or shots that you have seen specifically from Black history in the past? Like, what is one that resonated with you?
Oh, this is my favorite photo. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it real quick, and maybe I can screen share it.
Okay, I'm actually gonna give you permission, so you'll be able to screen share it.
Okay, I'm gonna find that photo, and I'm still looking for the person who took it. But this is my favorite Black History Month photo of all time.
Okay, I'm gonna let you screen share.
I'm gonna answer you. If you have another question, I'm gonna answer the next question as I look for this photo.
Okay, so one question is, how many shots do you normally take to get the right photo?
So that's that's always a question new photographers ask.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna sound silly, right?
Uh-oh.
So you have two different types of shoots, right?
Yeah.
You have the shoot when you're aiming for one specific photo. Excuse me. And then you have the other shoot that like if I'm shooting a regular person, or I'm shooting like a model, she needs multiple looks.
Mm-hmm.
I shoot until I get the look and until I make them happy. So for me, when I did a lot of those clone photographies, like when I was talking about the ones on the train,
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I don't have to like communicate with one of me to get the other me to do it. So for some of those photos, I took one photo, reviewed it, said that's it, moved on to the next one. But when I'm working with people, maybe I'll take like maybe 5 in the same pose, and if I don't get it, it's not there, so I move on to the next one. So today I had a 2-hour session, and we probably only took maybe 200 photos, and that's with 3 people. Pardon me. When we shot, we had more of a 3-hour session, 3 looks.
Yeah.
3 looks.
7.
How many people?
7.
7 people. Everybody got individual shots. We did some group pictures, but when we shot, it wasn't like, okay, do this pose and do this pose and do this pose. I was like, no, this one, this one, this one, this one. It was real quick, real fast paced. So the answer changes, but to give all my new photographer friends out there, the short answer is shoot until you got the photo, until you get what you want. If you got to take, if you're starting off and you got to take 10 photos to get one photo, perfect. Because I may take 100 photos and only like I'll like 30 of them. Mm-hmm. But I'll only love 1 out of the 100. And that's how it works.
Oh, see, this is really interesting. And now I'm really anxious, because were you able to find the specific photo that you were looking for?
I am actually airdropping it to my laptop right now.
Okay.
And if anyone has any information on this photo,
okay,
please let me know, because this is my favorite photo every time I see it.
Okay.
And I make it, this is always like my Facebook. This is always like my background picture on Facebook. I'm sending it to myself right now, Miss Avery.
Okay, well, that's really exciting. And while you're airdropping it, why is it your favorite photo? Like, in particular?
Oh, well.
Out to you.
Well, let's look at it, and then I'll tell you why.
Oh, I'm excited.
Bam, bam. Okay, I got it right here.
Okay. And I think
All right, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to close down some of my tabs.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
It's the funniest photo that I just...
I love that.
This is my favorite photo of all time. And I always see it, and I'm like, I need to do some research on it. It makes me laugh. And this is exactly how I imagined myself back during those times. Because not only did he break the law, he took a picture looking directly at the camera as he broke the law. And
it just shows such a message at the same time. Oh my God.
It's how casual he is, but how much he wants to be seen that does it for me. One of my favorite photos of all time.
Ever. Oh my gosh. We need to find the photographer who took this.
I promise you, I'm gonna do this. Just encourage me, because I always like share it around this time of the year. But I need to really go back and do the research, see who's the guy in the photo and who took the photo. Those are 2 important things. Because for some of you who may think about like don't. So I'm gonna play with the Generation Z brain. Think about this photo just a little bit deeper on a little bit deeper than just your cell phone, right? Mm-hmm. Because back in that time, the regular person didn't own a camera. The regular person didn't own a camera until about the later 90s, believe it or not. So photography was still more of like something you have to go out and get, or you have to be experienced with it. So not only did he take this picture, right? Somebody then took the picture, got the roll of film, which he was taking on, no digitals, the roll of film developed, and printed it out.
Oh wow.
So when you think about stopping time, that's putting effort into a photo.
Yeah.
That means that photo was so good they looked at it and said, "This is the one. We're going to sit in this chemical fueled room." If you guys don't know how, you guys look this up. It's called darkroom photography. If you want to know about how photography, like the early stages of photography, that's what it is. Here, I'll do you. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, stand right here. Oh my gosh, I love this photo. It shows so much depth. It's so great. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh.
So this
Ooh.
is I believe this was 1970. Canon is a Canon film camera. Yep. The back opens. I'm not gonna do all that. It's filming here, so I'm not gonna open the back. But yep, it has a little crank up here. You crank it, the film moves. Yep, a really old camera. And I'm actually getting, it's in the mail right now, but I actually just purchased a camera from the 1950s.
That's
really just trying to understand photography as it developed. But yeah, this is my favorite photo.
I absolutely love that. Can you send that to me?
Yeah, I got you.
I love that. Oh my gosh. And one thing that I want to ask you before you go in particular is, one, again, I'm going to ask you this again. Where can people find you? But one thing that I want to know is, how do you hope to make Black history?
Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah, one question that I want to ask you is, of course, where can people find you? But I want to ask you, how do you hope and how do you plan to make Black history?
The big question. So I'll let you guys know where you can find me right after I say this.
Okay.
For me, in my journey and what I've learned and how I've decided to support my community and to fight is to change the identity.
Okay.
And to change, and more so than change the identity, establish the identity of what it means to be an African American in this country. What we have is something special, in the sense that we don't know our history, right? For the most part, some of us are lucky enough to be able to track our roots back down. Most of us aren't that lucky. So, but what we have is the opportunity to say, this is what we are. Yeah. And nowhere else in American history have Black people really sat down and said, this is what we are. This is what we claim to be. For me, saying Black people, Black is a color in a crayon box. Yeah. It's not an actual ethnicity. African American, would mean that we are from, we're originally from Africa, but African American is for the immigrants who come to that country. So my goal is that if you're not going to call me an American in the country that my grandfather was born in, that my great grandfather slaved for, then we're going to figure out a name to call ourselves. And that's a very big goal, and it may take my grandkids to get it done. But my first goal, with me as being a photographer, me being a graphic designer, me being an artist, is to really begin to show people what we are. Because I can't force a title down anyone's throat. I'm not, at least not right now, standing at the foot of Parliament demanding changes. But what I can do is build enough influence so that when I release a book or when I release a photo, the same effect that rappers have on the kids is the same effect that I will have. So if I show a photo of people, doing a certain thing, moving a certain way, hopefully they will follow and they'll begin to do the same way. If I create a video and it without ever saying it, but it established that, hey, these African-American men, they're not just thugs. They're not just monsters. They're not just, they're just not as criminal. If I can show you something, if your only exposure to the African-American man or woman is something that you see on TV, and let's say you come from a small little royal town somewhere all the way back and blah, 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 nobody knows, no one cares. If your only exposure to us is this, big scary figure or this, dramatic movie role or, just something that isn't all of us,
Yeah.
then you're going to think about us in a certain way. So my job and what I want to do to change is to be able to establish us as something that is no different than everybody else who was born and raised in this country.
Yes.
And,
I just think that a nice little clap real quick.
and I'm gonna get off my soapbox now.
But that could not have been worded any better. And I really hope that goal is achieved. Even if it takes a long time, it will be so worth it.
Yep. Actually, I'm gonna give you a little. You'll be the only. You guys will be the only ones to know what my first project will be.
We're gonna
the goal is big, and I may need your help.
Okay.
So I'm working on a book. I've been working on it for some time. It's gonna have some other things to it. I'm not gonna give you too much, but the book is called "We Are Not Monsters," and the first edition will feature 300 African American men from the ages of 1 to as old as I could possibly get. No text, no captions, just 300 pictures of African American men and children that shows them not being violent, not anything else, just with the small phrase that we are not monsters. So that is currently the secret project that is not really a secret anymore, but that is the small project that I'll be working on within the next 2 years.
Yay! Everyone, keep it on the down low a little bit, okay, everybody? But we got the scoop. We got the scoop of the Jordan Jefferson's next project. And We Are Not Monsters, I know it's just going to be a hit. I know that it is not only going to be so successful, but it's going to be so inspiring and empowering, and I cannot wait to see it. And I wish you the best of luck with that. I really hope that goes really well.
You want another little secret?
Yes. I love secrets.
We'll then be following that with the all-female edition. So be looking out. So the way I'm thinking about it, I may end up doing them simultaneously, but I definitely, it's on the way. That's no more secrets. You've heard too much. You've heard too much.
Yeah, we've heard a little bit too much, so keep it on the down low, guys. But I am so excited for you. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. I know that you are going great places and you are so inspiring. Your work is so empowering, and I know it's going to reach the entire world. It's going to reach this generation and generations to come. So thank you for your work. Seriously.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
So where can people find you?
So once again, if you guys want to find me, you can find me at Photos by Jordan J. That's on all social media platforms. And then if you want, you can anytime you find me, you'll find Studio Avery. So the other account you can follow /YouTube is Studio Avery. So once again, I'm Photos by Jordan J. And then you can follow me also on Studio Avery. And that's where you get to see my YouTube channel with some behind the scenes of some of my photo shoots. And then every now and again, I'll hop on live and I'll be able to answer some of you guys' questions about photography. Where should you start? What gear you should buy? If you should go to, if college is the right path for you, what some other things you can add on to your photography career, how somebody at the age of 13 can make money with photography. I'll be talking a lot. So whatever questions you guys have, I'm more than happy to answer. And of course, if you guys want the easy access to all of that information, you can go to averycreativestudio.com. And as you've seen in the picture Miss Avery showed, you see the Facebook, the YouTube, the Instagram, the Twitter. Everything is right there for your viewing pleasure. Yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much, Jordan, for being on the show with me tonight. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It was fun talking to you.
Yeah, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.
How do I do this? Okay. But that was a great interview. Jordan is going to some huge places. So remember to go check out his social media. I will not keep you guys any longer. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Teendom Talk Show. I hope that you guys are able to enjoy. Remember, have a very safe holiday weekend this weekend. 3-day weekend, y'all. Let's go. And make sure to be back here, same time, same place next week for our 3rd episode of our Black History Month Teendom Talk Show series. And yeah, I will see y'all later.